nice honour to be asked to come here today and talk to you about badgers. We've got a few speakers talking about different aspects of wildlife and badgers. My brief was to talk to you about me and what I do. So it started early for me. About age 7, I did my first badger survey, completely voluntarily, with the Shropshire Badger Group and my father. And ever since then, I can't really remember a week that I haven't had my head down a badger set, or searching in the brambles for tracks and trails, or my nose in a badger latrine. So I pretty much live, sleep and breathe badgers. Now that comes with some nice aspects to it. It also comes with some heartbreaking things as well. So in terms of some of the really nice things that I get involved in is the badger rescue, welfare and rehabilitation. So one of the things that sort of makes it all worthwhile to me is when we release wildlife back where it belongs, out in the countryside, when we've spent some time with us being rehabilitated. So one of those things that we do is we take on orphan badger cubs every year from the RSPCA and other wildlife rescue centres, and we have the nice job of releasing them back to the wild. So they go in a soft release enclosure, and then they go back out into the wild. So we get the job of rewilding them, really. So we don't do all the hand rearing and cuddling and all that sort of thing that you see at places like Secret World. We do the getting them back to the wild and back out there where they should be. So that's a really nice part of the job. Other aspects that I have to deal with, sadly, is persecution. So I get called in by the RSPCA and police to investigate, or rather help them investigate badger set interferences, things like slurry in sets, gassing, poisoning, snaring, cases of badger baiting. So it is sort of a mixed bag, really, my job with badgers. It's up and down. My sort of commercial work, the stuff that pays the bills for me, is giving advice on new roads, quarries, development schemes, railway sites, things like that. But also I do go and give advice, as Nigel said, a lot in the West Midlands for householders that are facing problems with badgers. Now, a lot of people seem to think there's a big increase in badger numbers. Well, the truth is we don't know until we have a new national survey around the country for badgers. We don't actually know what the state of the population is, but I'm pretty confident that it's remained fairly stable. There hasn't been a huge increase that we're being sort of told about. What it actually is there's less sort of room for badgers, especially in some of this West Midlands conurbation with new development sites. They are being pushed into smaller areas, and that does then lead this conflict between badgers and householders. So we have sites where badgers are digging under garden sheds or houses, or just generally digging into gardens, and people sort of because badgers are protected, they don't necessarily know what they're legally allowed to do and what can actually happen. So people like me go out, give them advice, obtain the necessary licences that are in place from Natural England. And there was always previously been a shift, sort of way of dealing with it by closing sets, and all it seems to do is move the problem on. So somebody else is getting the problem with the badgers digging. So we're trying to look at new ways, and over the last couple of years we're trying to retain the sets where we can, so keep the badgers there. They're obviously happy there, but do some sort of badger proofing measures in the gardens to prevent the badgers causing any damage in the future, and hopefully build up the good relations between people and badgers, so that we can coexist together. So that's a lot of pretty much what I do. I also not only do that for a job, I actually it's my hobby as well. So I go out and find badger sets. I go and try and find as many as I can at a weekend, and I urge everybody to go out and try and obtain set records. It's as easy or as difficult as you want to make it. The simplest way to, if you're not already doing that, is go and walk your local footpaths, take your dog for a walk, record any sets or signs of badges that you spot, pass that information then on to your local badger group. So for example, it's West Midlands Badger Group here in Birmingham, and they can then use that information and monitor those sets. And it's all valuable information, especially as you're probably aware there's a badger cull in progress at the moment, and that is being spread into different counties and probably likely to be more counties each year. So the more information we have on badgers, the better really, so that we can monitor and keep an eye out. So those of you, there's a lot of people here today that are doing a lot for all aspects of wildlife, so I personally want to say a big thank you to you all. Keep up the good work. Those of you who want to get more involved in wildlife, then try and see some of these wonderful groups and organisations that are here today, and join up, give them your money, help them out, and it's all for a good cause, it's all for wildlife. So thank you very much. I don't know if I'm too early, Nigel. He's saying carry on, so I hadn't sort of prepared for that really, but there you go. So I'll be over there. I've got some copies of my late father's book, so if you haven't heard about that or seen that, welcome to come over and talk to me about that, or any other issues relating to badgers or other wildlife in general. So I've sort of gone a bit quicker than scheduled, so I'm going to probably pass you back over to Nigel if I can. Or is he telling me to? Thank you very much. Thanks, Pearce.